top story this morning. WhatsApp says it's found and fixed a major security flaw in the messaging service that allowed hackers to install spyware on mobile phones. Facebook, which owns the company, says the attack targeted a select number of people. Josh Constantine is editor-at-large of the technology news website TechCrunch. He explains how the fault was found.
A UK-based lawyer discovered that he was an attempted victim of this hack. And luckily, new protections recently put in place by WhatsApp were able to protect him from actually having their phone infected with this malware. But it's obviously a terrifying predicament because people so much believe in the security of WhatsApp.
Well, experts say the attack bears a resemblance to spyware developed for intelligence agencies, and there are concerns it has been used to access the phones of human rights campaigners. Dana Ingleton is from Amnesty International.
This is a very invasive piece of spyware where if it's infected on your phone, it basically gets control of your whole phone. It can see your messages, it can see your contacts, it can activate the camera. We know governments are buying these tools to fight crime and terrorism, but we also know some governments with atrocious human rights records are buying this tool and using it to target human rights defenders.
Yeah, pretty scary, isn't it? Well, Kevin Curran is Professor of Cybersecurity at Ulster University. Kevin, thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Sean.
Important, first of all, because some people will not use WhatsApp, won't know what it is. What does it do and how does it work?
Yeah, WhatsApp is a very popular messaging app. It's used by 1.5 billion worldwide. Essentially, you can use it for phone calls and you can use it for messaging to people who have the same app. And of course, you can use it on Wi-Fi, so you don't have to have a data plan. So it allows people to actually have a phone which allows them to use the phone in the old traditional way, but not have to have a data plan. And it generally is, it is actually secure in the fact that your messages are encrypted before they leave the phone, and you can actually have calls with people and even messages which are actually generally very safe because it's built on a very secure open standard in the world. And of course, WhatsApp, who is actually owned by Facebook, do not have access to the messages, do not have access to be able to snoop on your phone calls. But of course, Facebook do know when people have the WhatsApp installed on their device, and they're able to share that information. Now, you can turn that off in the settings, but by and large, it actually is a secure way of messaging people, more than just using your mobile phone ordinarily. But of course, what we have here is a really sophisticated hack, because this is as good as it gets. The fact that you can ring someone who has WhatsApp, and even if they do not answer the call, you actually are able to, capture their phone and be able to snoop on them, really. And in fact, in some cases, it seems like the missed call is not even noticed in your missed call log. So it's really as good as it gets. But of course, it comes from the outstanding Israeli company, the NSO Group. That's really where all the paths lead back to. And of course, that they're notorious for having software which was able to hack an iPhone again, which is a very, very difficult thing to do by clicking on the link, and you're able to actually get all the information you want and turn the iPhone into a snooping device, really. And of course, that they sell their software to governments around the world, and of course, some of these governments.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, Kevin, because you're absolutely right. The finger of blame has been pointed in the direction of that Israeli security firm. What would have been their intention? What were they looking to get out of this?
Well, the actual group again, which is American-owned, based in Israel, and of course some of the best hacking teams really come from Israel, and of course some of them are linked back to the 8200 intelligence unit again, which is by the Israeli army. But again, they would have just sold this on. So really, that I'm sure that they're not discriminating about who they sell it to. Of course, they sell it to the U.S. government, they sell it to Israeli and other ones, but they also sell it to any, I suppose, governments which really have terrible human rights records, really. And of course, that we know that many of the targets here, the reason this was really found was human rights activists, really, around the world. So again, that they would just sell this on, and they themselves really would not use it again. That this is what we call zero-day flows again. That they're the most prestigious. That there's an entire market out there for 0 days again. So the zero-day flow is a hack that you have that companies do not know about. And of course, that there's a black market for this. There's actually, even on the open web, you can actually make a living just developing 0 days. And of course, that these would cost a lot of money, of course, and in some cases, only governments who really can afford them because they are highly targeted, really. So, again, they just make these flaws. They have before this, they have this kind of framework called Pegasus, which allows you to really attack phones, and of course, there's very little you can do. The only thing you can really do is obviously keep your apps updated. I noticed that my WhatsApp itself had updated in the last few days to 2.19.134, and that's the version of WhatsApp you want to have that, prevents you
that's
from,
the advice, essentially,
having this bug.
Kevin, that's the advice to update WhatsApp, and that'll have a fix to the security flaw.
It is indeed. However, in this case, this is as sophisticated as you get. This is really only going to be used against targeted individuals. So unless you're listening this morning and you're a human rights activist, or you really are involved in something really high level where a government wants to snoop on you, you are fine. But really, it just shows that actually that sophisticated hacks like this really exist. And of course, the thing about them, they always filter down into the public. So of course, if someone wants to continue using WhatsApp for the next year or so and not update it, then they were really at risk, because this hack will filter out into the ordinary hackers. And again, they will use this because it really is as good as it gets.
Cybersecurity expert Kevin Curran, thanks very much indeed. Yeah, kind of just illustrates that nothing is 100% secure, isn't it? So, thanks very much for that. We'll bring you any more on WhatsApp before the end of the programme.